So what we're going to do today is discuss digital programming in terms of content creation. All right. So we're going to speak about how to create content effectively so that we know exactly what we're doing and what we're defending, and so that we can create content consistently and produce really high quality stuff that's relevant to what people want to see. So what we need to understand is that the digital domain, the digital sphere, the internet, however we want to think about it, it's basically a giant programming tool, and it's designed to make people think and do and say certain things, right? We all know this. It's designed to influence. It influences all of us. We all know this. But how does it work? And how is it related to the left and right pillars of Boaz and Jachin? So that's what we're going to discuss today, because it's important for us to understand that most of the stuff that we consume is essentially coming down the barrels of either the left or the right avenue. And remember, the left is the feminine, it's feminist movements, liberal movements. It's more about freedom. It's more about raging against the machine. If you're thinking like leftist thoughts or leftist ways of living, and what you want to be thinking about is kind of like the hippie movement or any kind of like feminist, feminine, freedom, raging against the machine, fighting against the man. Any sort of mentality that aligns with that way of living is basically all left pillar thoughts, left pillar philosophies. Now, the right pillar, again, is the opposite of that. So the right pillar is the establishment. The right pillar is the man. The right pillar is the government. It's the power. It's when people talk about speaking word or speaking to the power, that's basically what it is. That's the right pillar. The conservative pillar, the pro-Bible pillar. Again, the left pillar is the anti-Bible pillar, just as we've discussed in the last video. So what we have here is left and right operators. So when we're looking at influencers, we're looking at politicians, we're looking at people of interest or public figures, people that are responsible for influencing and basically representing large swaths of public opinion, large masses of public opinion, public thought, public behavior, just representing large amounts of people and being a kind of spokesperson for those people and their values, all right? So again, what we have here is left and right operators. You have pro-feminine operators and pro-masculine operators. You have pro-dark operators and pro-light operators. You have pro-liberal operators and pro-conservative operators. You have pro-multicultural operators and you have monocultural operators, usually in the form of pro-Bible sentiment. That means Christianity and Jews, all right? Right is Christianity and Jews. Left is pretty much other cultures, other religions. And the reason why it's designed that way is, like I've said in the previous video, Western civilization, which we all currently live in, was built upon the Bible. That's what it was built upon. So because Western civilization was erected upon the Bible basically stands for Christians and Jews, especially traditional Christians and Jews. Go on the right, conservative, light, masculine, Jachin pillar.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You
colonials.
don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do
specifically
that, but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
San Francisco in and out. They've been in a battle with the city over, let me just let them tell you the story, vaccine requirements.
Brian, right now,
Ooh,
this
that is an
Fisherman's Wharf
aggressively Asian face.
is open,
Easy.
but only
It is,
for
I mean,
to-go
it just makes it
orders.
to
Take a
be a
look at
skier.
that
It'd be
sign
like a
on the
black
door.
diamond. You
It
have to
says
drop it on
indoor
a jumper.
dining is unavailable at this vaccination police.
By the way, the reason I say this is because, usually with the reporters, they're kind of Americanized Asian. So I think it's a good thing.
No, it's fantastic.
Culture. It's a good thing. It's full Asian.
It's good. That's a good thing.
I wish she would have kept her fan.
Yeah.
Yes, but of course, I'm just kidding around. I'm kidding around. You guys are probably smart. I mean,
he specifically said aggressively Asian face. I don't like what.
No, because to them, Asians are the other, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so white is normal, but like, oh, wow, you look really Asian. That's even worse. But he says, of course, he realizes he stepped in it and he needs plausible deniability. So he says, oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to go full Asian. I don't know if you know this. Asians are full Asian. So they're not going full Asian. They are Asian. You're maniacally obsessed with your racism. White is good. Asians are different. Blacks are different. Mexicans are different. Muslims are different. Muslims are violent. Asians have flat faces and are whores. And this, and then blacks are stupid and violent. Why do you think we can't stand you? We can't stand you because you hate us. And we're tired of you hating us. We're exhausted from it. So my wife is Asian, I'm Muslim. All we've ever gotten is right-wing hate. Okay, so
Kamala Harris has protested, and somebody says Israel's committing genocide in Gaza, and here is her response.
I know what you're speaking of.
What is it?
What he's talking about, it's real. And so that's not the subject that I came to discuss today, but it's real, and I respect his voice.
I respect his voice, it's real. It is factually false. There is no genocide happening.
There is no genocide happening. There is no genocide happening.
All right, guys, huge story here that's coming out of Responsible Statecraft, the outlet. They say the following: Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post. Netanyahu referred this week to a community pushing out preferred messaging in U.S. media, and boy, are they making a princely sum. Okay, guys, $7,000 per post. $7,000. That is mental. But now I have to say, the world makes a lot more sense to me now, because I literally could not understand. I could not wrap my mind around anybody defending Israel at this point, given all that they've done and the fact that it's been fucking live streamed and we saw it all. So I couldn't wrap my mind around it. But now, as soon as you realize, oh, some people are literally getting paid $7,000 a pop to post some shit in defense of Israel, you go, oh, okay, that's where the posts come from. Because nobody's doing it free of their own volition. Hey, I just saw a baby blown into 80 pieces right in front of me. Big bloody mess. But I sure do love the people who made that happen. Like, that's not a thing. So they have to pay people.
$7,000 per post. That's how much an influencer might make for pro-Israeli propaganda, all of it paid by the Israeli government to a group of American influencers as the genocidal state grapples with declining global support.
So we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. Our influencers.
At home, there's a lot of questions about supporting Israel. There's a lot of anger around my supporting Israel. And that's something that I have to deal with every day at home. So I don't have to deal with that while I'm here. I'm ignoring my social media, so it's phenomenal.
The pressure campaign continued during the trip and after they returned, with media outlets questioning whether it was ethical and others, including family, accusing them of selling out.
For what I can only assume was just like a propaganda trip. So yeah, it looks like my dad and a bunch of other just like loser politicians from New Mexico.
So all the multicultural aspects of society, different religions, different ways of thought, different philosophies, different ways of living, all go on the left pillar. So if you want to be an operator for the left, that's how you need to be thinking. And if you want to be an operator for the right, that's how you need to be thinking. Now, when I say operator, what I mean is you can think of it in terms of content creation. You can think of it in terms of being a business person. You can think of it in terms of being an influencer. You can think of it in terms of being a spokesperson or a representative for that pillar, for that cause, for the left pillar or for the right pillar. I'm also reiterating this a lot because I want it to become ingrained in our brain so that we can see it very clearly wherever we are. Again, this is important because this is exactly how our civilization works. So we need to know how it works, because if we don't know how it works, we either keep getting played by people that do know how it works, or we keep making bad decisions or decisions that aren't congruent to how we wish to live or how we wish to reach our goals or how we wish to achieve our dreams. We want to know how this context, how the civilization works so that we know how to navigate it. All right, so that we can make money, so that we can start our businesses, so that we can take care of our families, so that we can start a family if we don't have a family, so that we can just start living and integrating with society, integrating with our Western society, with our Western civilization. All right, so what I think would better help us visualize what's going on here is if I provide us with some examples of left and right operators, Boaz and Jachin operators, so that we can see exactly how we're being influenced, we can see exactly how we're being manipulated. That might be a key word that we may want to focus on as we keep going forward. Maybe not in this video, but certainly in the videos to come. Again, it's to help us see things clearly, it's to help us navigate and make good decisions, better decisions, decisions that help us get to our goals faster and more effectively. So some examples of some left pillar operators are people like Kamala Harris. Prime example, left pillar operator, stands for immigration, stands for multiculturalism. She's pro-feminine, pro-feminist, all left pillar values, left pillar philosophies. She also is a Democrat, and most Democrats are liberals, and liberals go on the left. So Kamala Harris goes left. She's a Democrat, liberal. She stands for like feminist, pro-feminine issues. She stands for multiculturalism and immigration. She prefers to change the status quo and change the establishment and change how things traditionally work. So she goes to the left. Everything that she says, everything that she does, everything that she stands for is not by accident. She's trained, she's educated, she's learned, she's practiced, and she is responsible for conditioning people to think, say, do, and believe the exact same things. Now, I'm not targeting Kamala Harris here because, like I said, I'm going to list a whole bunch of operators that work on the left, the feminine pillar, and a whole bunch of operators that work on the right, the masculine operators. Now, just to even things out here, on the right pillar, we have Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is a pro-Bible, pro-Christian. Now, I understand that the crimes that he's been allegedly accused of kind of fly in the face of the pro-good, pro-heaven, pro-Bible, pro-Christian, pro-God pillar. I understand that, but we're going to kind of just look away from that for a minute just to discuss exactly what he's doing as an operator. We're not going to talk about the crimes and the mishaps or the misgivings of the operator. We're not going to talk about the mistakes or any of the things that they've done that they shouldn't have been doing. Like I said, because they are influencers, they are public representatives. So they should and shouldn't be doing certain things. So the things that he should be doing, which he does most of the time, other than, the sometimes that he does the things that he shouldn't be doing, the things that have been accused or waged against him in courts of law, which we won't discuss today. But what he does is he's the president, first of all, Donald Trump, pretty much the most famous guy on the planet right now. He is pro-Bible, pro-Christian, pro-Jewish. So everything on the right pillar he stands for. Traditional family values, a man, woman, child. You'll notice that even part of Donald Trump's policies is to stand against LGBTQ. So that explains why he was happy to sign legislation to prevent LGBTQ in sports.
I want to thank everybody for being here. It's fantastic. And this is sort of a big, big day. It shouldn't have even been necessary to take place. This started a long time ago, and we ended it today. And I'm going to sign the executive order right now, and everything I said will go into effect immediately.
Again, he's anti-LGBTQ, not by accident. These people are trained, they're educated, they're learned, and they're responsible for programming and conditioning. They are representatives of large amounts of people who think, do, and believe the same thing. So this is why this is important when it comes to us, because when we want to figure out how to make content, it's important for us to understand that people already exist in large masses that think, do, and believe the same things. And it's not a bad thing. It's just what they think and what they believe in order to make their lives where they live and how they live better. Okay, so they stand for the things that they believe in, and they tend to do it all in large groups of people. We're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, sometimes even billions of people, depending on how big the culture is for that specific philosophy. And so it's important for us to understand this, because when we understand that people think in terms of these kinds of flock mentalities, then we can see the operators doing their work not only on the people, but also on us, how the operators have their effect on us. So the reason why this is important is because it informs us on how to create content more effectively, how to help us serve more effectively. Again, it's because these people already exist. They already believe what they believe. And if we believe similar things, knowing about this knowledge, knowing about these methods of operation can help us create content more effectively. But also it can help us understand how we're being influenced and how we're being manipulated, or how we're being pushed and pulled to say and do and think and believe certain things, so that we can also adapt, modify what we think and believe in order to better represent what we believe, better stand for what we believe as citizens or as business people or as public operators or representatives or as spokespeople. All right, so with that being said, some more leftist operators or left pillar operators, Boaz operators, liberal operators, are pretty much every celebrity that came out to endorse Kamala Harris during her campaign. So when Kamala Harris was running last year, we remember a whole bunch of celebrities came out to stand for her, to speak on behalf of her, to support her, to endorse her campaign. And every one of those celebrities were also left pillar operators. So I can't really remember the list right now, but I'm going to put up a whole bunch of images of the people who did come out to support her so that we can see more clearly who these left pillar operators were. Now, some more left pillar influencers are people like Hassan Piker, another guy that's quite famous right now for being an influencer, for being a spokesperson, for being a representative for left pillar philosophies. Another left pillar influencer is a kid that goes by the name of Destiny.
What do you call it? Being a cuck?
Yeah, that's the
You're
that's
a
the
cuck
one.
advocate.
Yeah.
It's like what Adam 22 is kind of doing, right?
Yeah, for a while. I don't know.
Yeah. But so I want to ask you this. So you're straight. You're a straight guy?
I'm like bisexual-ish.
Bisexual-ish?
Bisexual-ish. I don't think I'd ever date a guy, but I'll hook up with him.
What the fuck?
I don't want to date a dude. It's fucking gay.
What's
the fuck?
What?
They want to fucking cuddle with a homie after sucking his dick? How fucking nasty would that be? Holy shit.
Again, he's quite famous for standing for pro-feminist values, pro-feminine values, pro-sexual liberation philosophies, especially that one, multiculturalism, environmentalism. So basically all of the left pillar philosophies, the left pillar values. Again, he's conditioned, he's trained, he's educated, he's practiced, he's learned, and he's an operator. All right? So these people don't all believe these similar things or the same things by accident. These people are trained, these people are educated in exactly the same way for them to be able to operate, for them to be able to start their businesses, for them to be able to represent these causes and philosophies, for them to be able to become spokespeople or representatives for these ways of thought and these ways of living for these businesses. So that's basically how they create their businesses. It's basically how they create their brand that allows them to operate in these manners, is because they stick to the exact same philosophies, the exact same principles, and do the exact same work. All right, so some more right pillar operators and influencers are people like Ben Shapiro. Again, he's pro-Christian, pro-Jew, or as he says it, pro-Judeo-Christian. All right, that's what he says he is explicitly. He's pro-Israel, he's pro-America, he's pro-establishment, he's pro-traditional families, he's pro-Bible. Everything about what he says and does goes according to that right pillar, the conservative pillar, the masculine pillar, the Jachin pillar, the blue pillar, all right? Don't think of it too much in terms of Democrat and Republican, because I did notice that Republicans are red and Democrats are blue traditionally, like that's what they're commonly known as. But in this case, their values seem to be in opposition to those colors. So because the Republicans are red and because the Boaz pillar is also red, it doesn't mean that those two are linked. In fact, it's the opposite. So I just wanted to point that out because I noticed that recently and I just wanted to make that clear. All right, just so that we don't get confused about this stuff, because like I said, it is pretty complex and I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible so that we can kind of get out of this slump that some of us seem to be in, or any sort of confusion about what's actually going on in this world and how the politics works, or how the influencing and the manipulation or the marketing and businesses actually works. All right. So we can take this time to clear all of that stuff up and we can get moving and do what we need to do. Let's keep going. All right. So what we have here is basically we have Democrats on the left, conservatives on the right, pro-feminine centric philosophies on the left, and pro-masculine centric philosophies on the right. And at the same time, we have a whole bunch of operators that are basically pushing out these philosophies, these mentalities to gain influence and power, and that's how they run their businesses. That's how they conduct their businesses. And like I said, they're not working in isolation. So all right people that conduct right business all conduct business together. So you'll have a lot of very rich people who have a lot of money that all conduct business together on the right. Likewise, the exact same thing goes for the left. You have a whole bunch of very rich liberals, very rich progressives, and also a bunch of very rich Democrats that all work together. Again, they all conduct business together because they all are aligned in philosophy. They all are aligned in business. They all are aligned in operation. All right, so are we starting to see how this is working here? I hope that this information so far is helping you to see things more clearly and more transparently so that we can understand how we're being manipulated, how we're being influenced, but also at the same time how we're being served. Because we're not just being influenced and manipulated by these people, because a lot of the time, these people do serve what we believe in a lot of the time. So by understanding this knowledge, we can better ourselves and better refine ourselves in terms of operation, in terms of producing content, in terms of representing what we also believe in, along with, either left operators or right operators. And remember, the better we understand this knowledge, the easier it'll be for us to build our businesses, the easier it'll be for us to build our brands, the easier it'll be for us to network, and the easier it'll be for us to make money. Make money, build our brands, build our businesses, start our lives so that we can take care of our families, or so that we can build our families if we don't have one, or if we aspire to having a family someday, and we can integrate with the society, with this Western civilization a lot better, a lot more effectively without having to make any of the silly mistakes or any of the mistakes that people usually make when they're confused about what's going on, or people that are being misled by what's going on. Okay, so what I'm doing here is trying to clear up all of that confusion, trying to make things more clear and transparent so we can understand how these systems are working. And thank you for your patience and waiting a bit longer for this video to come out. Like I said, I had a bit of technical issues recently when my laptop crashed, weirdly enough. But like I said, everything is good, all is well, everything is back up and running, and I'll be back every week with a new video and more knowledge to share. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and have a good day.